Hi students, it's your favorite teacher here. Today I'm going to be talking about using stories to teach complex concepts. What kind of stories, you ask? Well, stories are a common phenomena of our time. You can think of parables in the Old Testament. Present day, you can think of urban legends. In this particular teaching strategy, a teacher is going to be using a fictional or an actual story in the form of a case study, and students are going to get an opportunity to role play the different characters in the story to solve a main problem that is presented in the case. So this strategy makes use of small and large group discussions who can talk about the issues raised related to the session's readings, related to that week's learning objectives. So what are the learning outcomes that you're looking for as a teacher? While you're looking for communication skills, democratic critical discourse, tolerance of ambiguity, higher level learning outcomes such as strategic decision making, as well as the skills of synthesis and evaluation. This strategy addresses all three of the learning domains mentioned in Bloom's taxonomy. On the cognitive domain, it addresses the higher level skills such as synthesis and creation and evaluation. It touches upon the affective domain as well as psychomotor skills. Also, looking at the learning style inventory, it makes use of all three types of learning: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. This strategy is rooted in constructivism, social constructivism, which relates to how students learn from interaction with others, experiential learning, which includes simulation and role play, and vicarious experiential learning, which involves thinking rationally and emotionally from someone else's experience, and variation learning, which refers to the variation in students' different ways of understanding what is taught. So how does this strategy actually work? An example in action. Management students are given a case to solve that has cost-benefit analysis as well as ethical and managerial practice issues. They are assigned roles based on this case. So there's an element of role play used to solve a business case. This particular example makes use of Merrill's four-stage principle, which includes activation, demonstration, application, and integration. So to activate the lesson, the instructor will start by reviewing the readings, and then to demonstrate, the instructor will show a simple example, and then for application, students work in groups of 4 and try to solve the case. For integration, the large group gets together and summary and synthesis questions are asked, and a take-home exercise is given to the class. Well, what is the criteria for successful implementation? How does an instructor know that this strategy has worked? Well, there are content-specific and behavioral attributes to look for. With regards to content, students should be able to answer summary and synthesis questions, such as, what remains unresolved in this topic? Or what do you understand better as a result of the discussion? With regards to behavioral attributes, students should be able to model democratic discourse as well as to articulate their viewpoints clearly. They should also be able to work together as a group to come to a solution, as well as have the ability to discuss contentious or difficult topics objectively. What are some constraints that the instructor can come across, and how can an instructor deal with them? The first one is time. Will there be enough time for the session? To avoid running out of time, the instructor should adequately explain the activity to the students so that they understand what they are doing and why. There should also be time guidelines, and the instructor can co-opt the students into helping to watch the clock, as well as helping groups to move to the next stage of the activity. Another issue is complexity and whether students can solve the case given. To deal with this, the instructor has to know the audience. The instructor has to know what the students are capable of and should also give an appropriate model, show and explain examples to the students before they actually work on the case. Another aspect is, well, how realistic is this? Because this can be a fictional case study. To overcome this, an instructor should try to frame the experience, explain the purpose of the activity, as well as what students should be looking for, what students should expect to gain out of the activity. And the instructor can use teaching aids to help students step into character. Another aspect that an instructor can use is field trips and videos. And with regards to the case itself, the instructor can actually take real scenarios from the press or from books of fiction. With regards to adult learning, this is a useful strategy because it is rooted in constructivism. Adults come to the classroom with their own experiences, but they also want to create experiences, and case studies and role play, experiential learning gives them an opportunity to do just that. This strategy also helps in creating inclusion, safety, involvement, and community. It uses all three learning styles, the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. It also allows learners to look at issues from multiple vantage points, and it deals with complexity in two ways, in that it allows complex matter to be introduced in a non-threatening way, and at the same time it's a safe place to replicate complex real-world scenarios. It also promotes discussion, and discussion has many benefits. This strategy also incorporates the affective domain, which makes for memorable learning, and most importantly, if it is used successfully, students can then use summary and synthesis skills as well as improve their communication. Thank you for listening, and keep telling stories, because students could be learning in a powerful and memorable way.